3906. I think this is yeah, there's it. Yo,
Hello.
is this the Operandi?
Sure, you're speaking to the Operandi. What's up, my king?
I'm good, my bro, and you?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm watching your live right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to reply to the guy who was saying, talking about the ratio in terms of how much profit is actually good to make, and the whole thing about making money in forex. If I were to ask you a question in terms of what are you here to do in this industry, according to your own opinion, what would you say?
Me?
Yes, what would you say?
I would say that I am here to create awareness on scams, and then also I'm here to create awareness on disingenuous individuals.
No, I'm saying in terms of making profit. Let's say you get involved into a trading activity, and you say you want to make some income. In terms of determining how much income you want to make and finding out how much income you can possibly be able to make, what's your own perspective around that?
Sure, that's quite a mouthful. When I look at how much I should make, I would look at the bills that I need to pay, and then the bills would obviously tell me how much I would need. So then obviously I would have my total of how much I need to make. And when I know how much I need to make, I would know exactly how much I would need to risk. So,
okay, so now, with that kind of perspective, are you aware that you are putting your own, you are getting inside the platform where it cannot be determined with the algorithm of how you live. So you cannot really base it based on what you live. You are in a different spectrum, meaning you don't understand the platform you're existing in, because of if you are able to say, I'm willing to make this amount of money from a certain market, you must fully understand it broadly so that you know what's advantageous about it. And if the market was to go the other way, how long can it eat you up in that sense? So what I'm trying to say here is that this is simple practically that I'm going to say to you. If the fastest way you can lose money, it is also the fastest way you can win money. Do you agree with me on that?
100%.
So now, when you lose money, do you determine how much you can lose? Can you determine that?
Obviously, before you enter trade, if like I'm a technical trader and before I set my stop losses, I always go to my last lows or my last highs, depending on if I'm buying or selling. And then I would obviously calculate the pips times my lot size that I'm using. And then I would know. Then I would know how much I'm risking.
And let's keep it this way. You said that, okay, that means you control that. You control how much you lose. Is that
100.
correct?
I control how much I lose 100%.
Sweet. And do you think it is impossible to control how much you win?
It is. Look, if you are gonna work on a target setting, let's say your target ratio, your money management says that you are only going to take trades with a 1-to-2 risk ratio. That means if you are only going to take trades that if the risk is 100 Rand, the profit that you want to make there must be 200 Rand. Do you get what I'm saying? So you only if you're only gonna take trades that's like that, then your growth is always gonna be percentage based. Do you get what I'm saying?
I see. So now in that case, what I want to make you understand is you are willing to, like when you lose, you can determine how much you can lose. And what is nice is that the brokers are willing to lose that certain portion. They don't drag your balance into a negative to a point where they say now you owe them because of it went against you beyond your stop loss or anything of that sort. So now when you have that in place and when you go into profit and you can actually pile up your trade to a point where when you go into profit, you multiply your money many times. That way, you are able to control that. So now you have this spectrum or a scale that you have. You know that you can be able to control your loss, and there's no way they can run your balance into a negative because it ends at zero as the amount you put in that specific account. That way, you can be able to control the spectrum and know what's possible and what's not possible in this game. A lot of people, especially in South Africa, the lot of information that is fueled in this industry, people in South Africa are doomed.
True.
And I will say why, and I will give you reasons. And you are more than welcome to ask me any question based on what I was saying. The reason why I say they are doomed is that this industry, it is fueled with a lot of confusion. And most mentors, they tell people to what? To adjust into this 5% norm. Have you asked yourself why they've done it? Because of people work with brokers. And brokers, their business is to make money. And when it's their business to make money, what do? The people, we know IBs are all over. Majority of traders, especially mentors in this South Africa, they work behind brokers. And we know that when the traders lose money, the brokers eat at the end of the day. So this whole setup is set up in a systematic thing to a point where for a retail trader, someone who's getting involved in this industry, they're quite clueless about the platform. What are its benefits? They haven't fully understood what is on the table. And before they can even understand how much money will they donate to those people and to those mentors. So before you can actually realize you're fucked, you're even fucked already. So that's what I'm trying to say. So if more people can invest in knowing what the possibilities they have, I mean, you can lose all the time. All the time, ask yourself, if you are able, out of 100 times, if you are able to lose 95 times, you are rich, but you don't know. Can you ask me why am I saying that?
Why are you saying that?
Because of, if the market is not going with you, it is going against you. And if you are always losing, that means you should be doing the opposite of what you're doing every time when you're losing. Does that make sense?
100%.
So if now you are losing, you are a loser, and so you donate money all the time. You are rich, but you're just not smart enough to know that you are rich. The simple thing, if you can just strictly just enter any day, just go into the market and say, today I'm totally doing the opposite that I've been doing for the past few years where I lost money. You will recover that money in no time. But you just have to be. That's why I say a lot of people are caught up in a confusion. They don't know what's happening. Like, there's a lot of people like, and of course, when it comes to material things, people are taken. They confuse material things to knowing how this thing is designed. Before you get involved into anything, and before you come to a person like me, you must make sure you understand me first and find out how do I really think about this thing. Because if you have not, you'll find yourself in a situation where you are moving from one method to another and you're trying to find for something that works. And there's no something that works. You already have it, but you don't even know. But you just have to be smart and know what kind of a platform you're existing around. So when you come to me and you see the results that I'm making, you want to understand if you have a mentality of your 5%. I heard someone talking about your 5%. You won't be able to make money from 5% profit. What we do is that we leverage. The reason why we talk about leverage that with one trade, want to be able to make one trade that will carry us so that when we make several losses, we still remain profitable at the end of the day. How would you be able to make profit in a long run, in a sustainable term, while all the time you make profit, you make it about 5%? So that means you'll have to work your ass off just to make a little. That way, you're playing in their spectrum because of that's what they told your mentor to tell you. And you are playing in their spectrum. So that way, you're not going to be a threat because you'll be donating money to them for the rest of your life. That's how actually Forex was brought up in South Africa. And when you come to disrupt that spectrum, of course you are seen as something else because if you're not going with the rules, people are doomed. Everyone is fucked. You understand what is happening here?
I understand, my bro. But one thing I want to ask, though, is because I see everyone is asking here in the comments. Shout out to the people that's been leaving tips. But I wanted to ask, these people are saying that you have never ever posted, you make so many billions, your students make so many billions, but they never ever saw a withdrawal receipt.
Mm-hmm. So like, if you can be able to follow my profile from when I was actually starting, I was posting withdrawals in and out. And I used this as a tool of showing that a skill is more important than anything. That way, I don't want people to focus on the final product. And also my students, I've taught them, like, you have to master the skill first. Because if I give you that flamboyant thing of like, if I attract you with the final product, you won't actually understand what I'm fucking saying because of you are caught up in a product. But I have to make you understand the skill so that when you see the product, you don't lose your emotions. So that's definitely what I'm saying. I think before I can make it, and the kind of people I attract, they come to me because of they acknowledge the skill I have. They don't come to me because of I was driving such a car or such a car. They saw me. That's why a lot of people get scammed because of they get pulled for stupid things. I mean, how stupid can you be to give someone your money, the money that you don't even have, for the things you don't even understand? You must know what you're doing.
The people are asking you in the comments when you're gonna post your trading account with your investor password so that they can see if it's for real.
Okay, so what is going to happen is that to make it even more interesting, I normally share what my students are doing. I don't even have to show anyone to prove anyone what I'm doing is legit. I share what people that I taught are doing. That way, it speaks way more because this thing now it is no longer about me. It is bigger than me. I'm giving you a representation of what am I doing in the form of people that I've taught are there to speak on my behalf.
Can I ask you a question, buddy?
Sure.
I wanted to ask you, if you're making so many millions, right? Why are you charging?
That's a good question. Let me answer you fully. In terms of charging, first of all, when I started Forex, I kept it with me for a long time, to a point where people even approached me and said, Chief, why are you doing this thing? So there's a demand that grew up. And people, when they normally ask me this question and say, my team, you make so much money, but you ask people to pay you for mentorship. Then I asked them a simple question and said, okay, go now to ShopRite and take team staff and say to them, okay, you guys are making so much billions, and after that, you don't deserve to be selling me this thing. It's the same scenario. In another way, there's a demand that has grown to me because of people are attracted to me because of the skills that I implement on the market. Of course, I cannot control people. People, when they're fascinated about something, they will definitely come to me. And if I see that there's a demand growing for this thing, for my skill, of course I want to dish it out for free. Because if I dish it out for free, someone won't actually understand the value behind it. And the reason why I make it so expensive so that people can value it. If you haven't sweat for anything, you won't actually value it because of, listen here, like check mentors who sell their products or who fluctuate their products online and everything of that sort. Next day, they're selling something for 1,000. Next day, it is reduced the value to about 500. That thing shows desperation, and it shows their true intention of what are they trying to do. The real thing is not about the product they're selling. It's about getting as much money as they can. So, because me on my side, I've never done such a thing because I understand what it does to someone who has paid for it. And if I gave you a skill for a certain price and tomorrow I've reduced that price 50% off, how would you feel? And at the end of the day, another thing why I'm doing it is because of I want people to value my work, my intellectual property, to a point where I know when you paid enough for it, you won't just go around sharing it because of you've sweat for that thing. And it's a lifetime thing.
Now,
so that's what is happening here.
Now, the reason that I was asking if you are making so many billions, why are you teaching, is because, and I see you using Shoprite as an example, so me, I'm just going to come with my own example. KFC, they make millions, billions every year, and their recipe is in high demand. But you won't find KFC saying, come to my seminar. I'm going to teach you what is the secret 11 ingredients. So my question is, once again, if you are making this billions, right? And it's not a case of charging people. The case isn't charging people. The case is, why aren't you putting your attention to what makes the most money? Because if you can make billions, why are you wasting your time for the 10,000 or whatever you are charging? Why are you wasting your time for that if you can continue making billions?
So one of my visions in this game, and it has already started a long time ago. There's this thing that I'm running called Adrenaline Weeks.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So what is actually happening, one of my dreams is that I empower people in a way that it is more effective than anything. So in terms of me making money, I don't have to, in a long run, I don't see something like, let me put it this way. I implemented what I call leverage, even in how I work in terms of how people interact with me. Because at the end of the day, I want to remain relevant with what I do. And of course, I have to be recognized, and I also have to contribute into the knowledge of the financial market going forward. So with that, of course, I will need people that I will empower so that they can also work on my behalf as time goes on. That's more money, because if I can teach you the skill and after that come and fund you, which I'm already doing, so that you can make money for me. Just like, for example, a poor kid who's in Limpopo now in a village and is on Instagram, have access to internet or anything of that sort, and they learn the skill and they're able to leverage. And I say to them, come, I will fund you with my own money. Let's say I give you a 10K. I give that kid a 10K. After that, they flip that 10K into about 10 million. From that, he made himself rich with my own money. And between us, of course, we are going to sign up a contract saying that you are not liable for any loss because you don't have any money. But with the profit, I'll be willing to give you a certain percentage. After we've fully withdrawn all the money from a broker, depending on how the broker is willing to survive, because you cannot just withdraw 10 million from a broker.
Me, I want to join Adrenaline Week. Me, I want to join Adrenaline Week. You must fund me too.
Of course, if you show your skill and you know what you're doing, and you can be able to prove you're consistent with the skill, my king, I'm more than willing to help you. I will give you some nice money. I can give it that, let's say 100,000 over a period of, let's say a month, knowing that 10,000 per session. If you can turn 10,000 into 5 million, you take a certain percentage for it. If you can lose 5 trades, which is 50,000, it is fine. I won't be holding you liable because it's my loss. It's my investment. So that way you are my investment. I turn my people into investment. So I'm also leveraging in that. So that's my mindset around this whole thing. Something that has never been seen in this industry. That's why people react the way they react towards me, because of it is something that they never expected or they never envisaged in that way, if that makes sense.
True. I understand. Thanks for calling, brother. We will speak again. I'm most definitely gonna hit you up because I want to join that adrenaline week so I can also make the billions.
All right, good.
Shabade.